Hello, Paul. This is John Sargent with Wilkins Harley-Davidson here in Barrie, Vermont. Wanted to start off by going over the 2014 breakout with you. We're going to touch on a few different things, but again, it's in our dedication to make sure you know what you have. So jumping right into it, starting with the tire pressure on the front and rear. You want to be 40 psi, front and rear, regardless of what your owner's manual says. Now, we've already upgraded you to nitrogen in your tires, which is going to help maintain that air pressure and limit fluctuation over a longer period of time. So you're all set there. Moving backwards with the motor, we've done a full service with synthetic fluids. You do not need another service for about 5,000 miles. To check your oil, you want to check it when the bike is hot, on the side stand, on level ground, much like it is now. Your dipstick is right here. So again, hot on the side stand, on level ground. As long as you're in the range of your checkerboards, you're doing just fine. You want to leave room for heat expansion. Now with your 6-speed transmission, 6th gear is a status quo gear. It's a cruise gear. It's not meant for high torque. So if you're going up a hill or you're doing highway speeds, 60 miles an hour and up, drop it to 5th gear and use that gear. That's designed more for torque. 6th gear is for cruising, kind of keeping the status quo. Moving backwards, on your rear section of the bike, you're going to have your turn signals are integrated into your tail lights and brake lights. So it is a dual filament bulb, which means when you hit your brakes, they'll light up to run your turn signals. Underneath your fender is a third reflector to act as a third point of red on your rear of your motorcycle. Side mount license plate is spring mounted, so it will fold in and fold out. And you have your belt on this side. Now it's a carbon fiber construction belt, much like you're already used to with Harley-Davidson. Keep an eye on that, check it. You know, your standard services, they should check the tension on that. And moving forward, you're going to have your motor. Now this is a counterbalanced 103 motor. And the way that works is there's actually counterbalancing shafts in the front of the engine to help counteract the motion of the pistons. So it's going to limit the vibration on the motorcycle. You're not going to feel as much muscle, whether it's idle or cruising down the road. Toe shifter, 1 down, 5 up. It's mounted on a spline shaft, so you can remove this bolt and adjust that angle on the motorcycle itself. The shocks on this are actually mounted horizontally underneath the motorcycle. They're a hydraulic shock. There is some adjustment, but a Softail rides great already right from the factory. This is called a grenade style ignition. 1 click is accessory. You have accessory lights already on the motorcycle accenting the engine. 2 clicks turns the system on, ready to rock and roll. Your tank is a 5-gallon fuel tank. High test is the best. You want to stick with 91 or 93 octane. As a general rule of thumb, when your fuel light comes on, stop and get gas, the first gas station you see. Generally speaking, when your fuel light comes on, you have between around a half a gallon or 30 to 50 miles left. Well, as beautiful as this bike is, it gets heavier the further you have to push it. So let's limit that. Stop at a gas station and top off with fuel. Okay? Moving up forward on the motorcycle here. On your tank, this is your fill side. You're going to have a full tank of 93 octane in the bike. And if we turn our ignition on, we have our switches and our options. You have your system switch right here, your off run. That turns on your fuel injection. This is your start button here. Your one-touch 4-ways, which turns on our 4-way lights. The ignition has to be on to turn those on or off. Over on this side, we have our trip, which changes our odometer readout here. You have trip A. If we hold in, we can clear it. Trip B, we can do the same. Our range, which is a rough estimate as to how far we can go before we run out of gas. Now, this range is always going to be calculating based on your riding at that particular moment. When our fuel light comes on, that usually is going to say somewhere between 32 and 45 miles. And when you get a little less than that, it's actually going to say low range. That means get gas, for sure. Then it gives you a clock, and it gives you your digital tachometer and gear indicator. Now, this works off vehicle speed and RPM, so your gear indicator won't read the gear unless you're already moving. And you notice your ABS light is blinking. The ABS light blinks until 3 miles an hour because it's not on until then. This is not a link system. Front brakes run front, rear runs rear, but once you get over 3 miles an hour, that ABS light will go out. Neutral indicators up here, as well as our turn signals, which are one per side. Self-canceling, they have a lane angle indicator as well as a timer switch on them. And you have your throttle lock down here. We never suggest using that as a cruise control, but there is a throttle lock down there. Make sure it's always turned all the way out. That'll allow your throttle to act in the appropriate manner. Now in terms of the backrest on this and removing it, this is quick detachable items. So the backrest luggage rack is 1 unit. You're going to have push clips on either side. You're going to push those in. You're going to pull it down. You're going to lift it up and pull it back. Now remove the backrest. The seat pillion, you're going to remove your seat nut, and that'll slide off as well, leaving it a solo seat with a very clean look. It's a fantastic motorcycle, and this hard candy custom color is particularly amazing. If you have any questions on the motorcycle after watching this video or something comes up, please let me know. Now, in terms of helping you maintain the motorcycle, we have mounted an LED pigtail back here on the rear swing arm. That's mounted directly to your battery. The way this works is you have an LED light on here. When it's red blinking like this, obviously we're using the motorcycle, this is telling you to either ride it or charge it. When the light is completely off, it's fully charged. When the light is red, please plug it in. Your battery is low on juice, so it helps give you a nice alert so you can make sure you're maintaining it in the correct fashion. If you have any questions, let me know. You already know my email address, John, Jon, at wilkinsharley.com, and our number at the shop's 802-476-6104. Congratulations again. We sincerely do appreciate the business, and your bike will be arriving shortly, and we'll be in touch along the way. Thank you very much.